thing on? Okay. Hi, everyone. Let me lower that a smidge. Uh, Hi. I wanted to just, I don't know. I'm feeling like making more videos, so, I wanted to make one about, this article Kotaku made, because, the Souls games are very near and dear to my heart. And, this person seems to have an issue with, something that's not really a big deal, but they wrote, like, 2 fucking paragraphs on it. Uh, Souls games are great except for the sexist messages from some players. Just don't read them. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, I guess you don't really have a choice if you need the messages, but... Anyways, it's by Ario Alami. Now, I'm not sure what gender Ario Alami is. I could do a quick Google search. Let me check and see. Oh, goody. I'm not sure. As far as I know, Ario Alami is a man. If I'm wrong, I apologize. But we're going with Ario being a man first. I think. Wait, no, hold on. Let me scroll back. Oh, Tatila doesn't even give me what gender the person was. Well, whatever. They uh have issue with this. Since the release of From Software's Demon Souls in 2009, it and its spiritual successors, the Dark Souls trilogies and Bloodborne, hi Mozie, have acquired reputations that are both built on the games themselves and players' responses to them. Demon Souls and its descendants are as dependent upon their mechanics, level design, and art direction for effect as they are upon narrative obfuscation. And audiences have happily engaged in this with the pick of details, interpretive webs. When Demon Souls came out... Oh, alright, so talks about the messages. Messages could be used to mislead inexperienced players by, for example, placing a vague "if you jump down from here" beside a lethal drop. Their main intent was to make the game easier by way of publicized tips. If upcoming terrain were dangerous, then you might see "beware of floor ahead." Sniper's perch might alert less experienced players to the good location for long-range attacks. Or well placed, if you use this lever, you can proceed, could draw your attention to a mechanism. So, well, first of all, here's one: woman ahead, try thrust. Hurrah for chest, which is it's a spiritual successor to Amazing Chest Ahead from Dark Souls. Hurrah for chest, therefore try tongue. Be wary of tongue, in short, try behind. Someone that was someone that wants to eat some booty. Humans being humans, a bit of credence crept in, aided by some Demon Souls linguistic ambiguities, such as the unassuming noun of head. Give people a blank wall and spray paint, and someone will eventually draw genitalia. Yeah, see, exactly. You know what? You could have just ended the... You could have just ended it there. Crucial to this metaphor is the fact that such anatomical graffiti, at least in openly public spaces, is nearly always of a penis. That's correct. In one sense, it's a juvenile joke. In another and more serious sense, it is territorial, gendered assertion of power. No! No! Do you think... Time out. Hold up, person. You think the little kids draw dicks in their notebooks as an assertion of power? It's their notebook. What are they... I don't think they write it going, yeah, this girl's gonna try and steal my notebook, but then she's gonna see the penises and she's gonna know it's mine. Such has been the evolutionary trend of the grosser Soulsborne messages, with an important distinction: their targets. As Demon Souls' messaging system became a trope utilized by the Dark Souls trilogy and Bloodborne, so too did its hub, which is always inhabited by a significant female character. For Demon Souls, it is the Nexus and Maiden in Black. For Dark Souls and Dark 3, Firelink Shrine and Firekeeper. For Dark Souls 2, Majula and the Emerald Herald. and the Hunter's Dream and Doll for Bloodborne. Each of these has come to bear the brunt of sexist messages, with other female characters sharing most of the rest. Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, the doll was like a fucking sex doll, apparently, for Garmin. Like, this is such a non-issue. Things weren't too bad. I'm sure if they put beautiful I'm sure they've put beautiful something ahead. They're using the words that they've been given, and it's just, just drawing a dick. Don't worry about it. Things weren't too bad at the earliest stages. In Demon Souls, spots where the maiden in black might be standing or sitting were indeed complemented by messages, but the tone was more often romanticizing. You'll find true love ahead. Are you serious? No? I'm almost positive that it was always going to be... Alright, so in Demon Souls, there was a poorly translated magic thing. It was called sticky white stuff. I'm trying to figure out what it was called in Japan. I'm not sure if I'm ever going to find it. Wait, it's called something in, hang on. Magic, sorry, I'm doing... I'm assuming it was a really bad translation, but whatever it was something that you coated on your sword and it became magic. They called it sticky white stuff. Joke writes itself. So, there's beds, in front of women, sticky white stuff. In front of beds, sticky white stuff. Just fucking randomly laying on the ground, sticky white stuff. That would be all that was there. Nothing else, just the word sticky white stuff, and it'd be like, oh, I get it, You'll find true love ahead. I don't even know if that was a message in Demon Souls. I'd have to go back and look. A saint who cared for the deformed and sickly, and whose... Yeah, so message near Estrella, a saint who cared for the deformed and sickly, and also served as a fairly harmless boss whom the player was nonetheless required to kill. Tended to be things like, my heart's breaking. What is that dog doing? Rather than anything crass. In fact, over the past near decade, Demon Souls messages tended to be fine. Are you serious? Oh, the most sexually suggestive message devisable may have been sticky white stuff, badly localized, magic-infused item. It got worse. Perhaps it didn't help that post-Demon Souls titles, promotional material, and press coverage emphasized the trial and error design. The subtitle for... Oh, Jesus Christ! The commentary of many players themselves... And so, this was influenced by, but also fed into, the commentary of many players themselves until there was a perfect loop of word of mouth and branding during Dark Souls 2 development, accessible... all of this recalled video games' earlier advertorial and critical periods that stressed difficulty and presented the medium as an exclusive club where entry was dependent implicitly in a boys' club. Implicitly and explicitly, this was a boys' club. Since this gatekeeping has come under threat as the medium's reach has expanded, we've witnessed escalating hysterics by men to protect their space and consumerist identities. Okay. See, here's the problem with this argument. You're implying that women aren't good at video games. I know plenty of people that have, there's plenty of women that play Dark Souls and Bloodborne. You know what? There's a lot of women that play Monster Hunter. A lot of women that play Monster Hunter. More than you could imagine. Like, you wouldn't think that, but for some reason that game really just fucking appeals to women. I don't understand why, but I'm okay with it. I'm happy with more people playing Monster Hunter. I just, like, when World came out, so many people I knew, not just women, but also guys that just weren't playing Monster Hunter before, that never played it. They were playing it, and it made me happy. So, and you know, the women that played it, I think the first two people that I knew besides me that also played Monster Hunter were women. Now, three people. First three people I met that played Monster Hunter besides me were women. So that if that's not like a sign of there not being like an issue with these games, then I don't know what will. Because part of what made made Monster Hunter World more popular is probably the popularity of Dark Souls. Even though Monster Hunter did come first chronologically, obviously, it came before Demon Souls, but a lot of elements and mechanics from Monster Hunter are in Dark Souls. It's not such a leap to hypothesize that this Tough as Nails branding of the Soulsborne games drew in a portion of the Get Good contingent, anxious, angry, and arrogant men who derive entertainment from surrounding fictional women with ghostly perimeters of... This is quite a reach. When Dark Souls 2 hit, any factors mitigating the presence of toxic gamers seemed to evaporate, creating an open season for female characters. They and the Emerald Herald, most of all, were so aggressively targeted by player messages: weakness hole, therefore man required ahead. Try plunging attack rear. Try two-handing and then destroy. Etc. that I have to date never loaded a file in Medulla and not found a swamp of textual harassment. You know, I could probably go into Dark Souls 2 right now and not find that. Trains extended all the way to the world's near deepest parts where sheltered, mysterious women sang lovely songs. Women in the hubs of the Souls games are to varying degrees depicted as subservient. The Maiden in Black is pigeon-toed, and she and Dark Souls 3's Firekeeper have a sort of binding over their eyes. Anastasia's Dark Souls Firekeeper has a mutilated tongue and cannot speak. If attacked, the Emerald Herald simply says, "If that is your wish," and like the others will not resist attempts at her life, but it would be a mistake to cast blame upon the women themselves for inviting harassment, as if they, like shamed victims of rape, were... Oh my god! Shut up! Rather, we should observe that this seems to be a perfect storm of subservient female characters. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ! Like, I'll be honest with you. Personally, I'm weary of people that just actively kill the level up ladies, alright? They got something going on. And, you know, they can sort that shit out. I'm not trusting them. However... to say it actively encourages anyone to do it, like, no! She levels you up, for fuck's sake! By Dark Souls 2 and 3, it was clear that sexist messages didn't even require women to be present. No, it could be enough to just have details which allow stereotypical associations to be made. Alright, the statues! I'll be honest, I'm guilty of a few of those messages in Bloodborne. Written next to it, the implication being, women therefore bleeding. A message in front of some bowls in the kitchen area in Dark Souls 3 might say, woman required a head. A generic female statue in 2 could have women therefore bleeding written next to it. The implication being that even the representation of a woman is reducible to her menstrual period or torn hymen. Beneath paintings of Goddess Guinevere in Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3, you'd often find try holding with both hands, implying her breasts. Many players are also likely familiar with how Dark Souls' deific character of Gwendolyn, who can be interpreted as a trans woman, often has nearby messages employing trap in the transphobic sense, i.e. if he's been maliciously deceived. You know what? That's not an argument I'm going to get into, because like I said, trap has different. I've said this a lot. Trap has different connotations in Western culture than it does in Japanese culture. In Japanese culture, traps aren't as like vilified, I want to say. And honestly, now that I think about it, in Western culture, trans Gender people are the ones that vilify traps. Oh, whatever. Anyone who has played these games will know that the majority of player messages don't fit into the discussed paradigm. Hang on a second. Is my mic? Oh, fuck. Let me fix something real quick, just because I don't think people want to see me. There's a thing I do where when I'm reading, I hover my mouse over stuff, and that I just noticed I'm doing it. It's hard to know what to do about any of this now, besides point it out and call it what it is. A form of censorship was introduced with a list of censored words for character names in Dark Souls 2 PC release, but the list was poorly compiled. For example, no one uses bisexual as an insult. The idea of censoring Lucifer is bizarrely outdated. Bestiality isn't even spelled right, and the banning of whole conflicts with its inclusion in messages. Word blank. Moreover, it only drew attention to slurs and expletives within otherwise decent words or names. For example, the common title of Knight would show up as it because it contains well, I can't use that word, and you shouldn't be writing that word. Or if your title were holy, the censoring of ho would make it into Lee. With Bloodborne and Dark Souls 3, players were finally able to downvote. It was funny, though, with Knight, because it was even worse, because some characters would sometimes just cosplay as the Black Knights from Dark Souls. So they would invade you, and it would say, Black Ka, and then, you know, the rest. With Bloodborne and Dark 3, players were finally able to downvote messages, and such messages would then be less likely to appear for other players. What motivated this option's introduction, however, is unknown. If it was an indirect way of addressing sexist and asinine messages, it was naive, as these messages tend to be among the higher-rated ones around. Democracy in this form hasn't had a positive effect. Oh, isn't that something? Democracy's great, except when it doesn't go your way. Fucking dumb hipster. Reeks of woman, therefore slimy thing is effective. Anyone who has played these games will know that the majority of players' messages don't fit into the discussed paradigm. They mostly preempt hurdles, proclaim victories, encourage curiosity, and craft humorous, mimetic mini-narratives, yet the sexist message's exceptional nature arguably heightens their presence. Once you can guess what a bunch of messages around a woman are bound to be, it colors your perception of that space. Coming back to a hub after some spelunking is not just a return to relative security, but can be a reminder of the cultural toxicity bubbling. Oh, fuck off! YouTube user Jam Certain's video Happy Souls has accrued nearly 17 million views since 2016, and as good-natured as it is, even it contextualizes the sight of the Emerald Herald encompassed by tri-thrusting and ambush behind. General response has been to either tolerate or embrace these messages as a dependable cultural signifier, like a thing that just came with the territory. In one Reddit thread about celebrating player messages, a rare dissenter who clumsily says they've tired of the sleaze is called a salty kid who needs to get good and is told to lighten the fuck up. Good advice. In another thread elsewhere, a person who specifically voices their disgust with sexist messages is replied with, "You've always been able to play offline." That's true. Honestly. Just don't play it. Just play offline. You can avoid it. You can actively avoid it. But just because you've averted your eyes doesn't mean the thing has disappeared. Oh, fuck off! Listen to this fucking bitch. Just nagging. Just shut up. Ultimately, it is unclear if From Software is aware of the issue, though a rep for the game publisher Bandai Namco, which published most of the Soulsborne games, through a rep for the publisher. They declined to comment on the article. They did at least refrain from including the term sticky white stuff in the game since Demon's Souls. Oh, aromatic ooze, that's what it was supposed to be. Yeah. When Demon's Souls servers shut down this year on February 28th, and later the upcoming Sengoku-themed Sekiro was revealed to have no online component, both carried a sting for many people. It is disappointing for those who viewed From Software's modern output. For myself, though, I couldn't help but feel a sense of... As an artist, writer... Ario's a fucking idiot. This is stupid. This is the problem. This is why people don't like Kotaku. They complain about problems that can be avoided. And they're like, yeah, but the problem's still there, even if I don't have to be a part of it. So? Let them! You don't fucking try and control people. Like, holy shit. It's so obnoxious. They just want to fucking control people. I don't like it. This is why, like, even though I'm super fucking left leaning, I don't like these kinds of people. Anyways, let me know what you think, and like, comment, subscribe, whatever. I don't fucking care. I just want to get this off my chest.